Hi, this is Angie from Canterbury Farm. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a flower on a flower loom. Now I always call this a Daisy Loom. I think there used to be an actual brand called Daisy Loom, and that's probably why I call it Daisy Loom. I remember an elderly lady in the church showed me how to use these. I also remember my mother having it, so my mother probably also showed me how to use them. They were very popular in the 70s, and they've been, this whole thing has been going on since I believe the 20s. They've changed a little bit in design. This is a Studio 12. I see these kind most often at like Goodwill and those kind of places. But they have different kinds. If you see the older ones, they actually have little like notches up at the top that go all the way around. Little things sticking out. I've seen metal ones with spikes coming out the top that look pretty like medieval weapons or something. But this is probably the most standard one. And now if you've watched my chair booty video, you see that I use it for a knitting loom as well, the inner part, and the inner part will also do newborn socks and baby booties. And this, if you have the patience to deal with using the outside ones going in this tube, they often get snagged on here. You can do a larger toddler size sock too, but mostly I keep with this one. This will do a large baby doll or a newborn baby booty or baby sock. It will also do the chair booty, and it will also, you can do all kinds of anything that you want, a smaller tube that isn't found. You can buy little tiny looms now, but this seems to work fine for me. So let me show you how to make the daisy or the flower on the flower loom. Now, first of all, if you notice, you have notches on all of these, and that is useful. So you can just tie a knot. And you can just slip that in there and in the little knot, and it's going to hold your yarn for you. Now, here's how we're going to do it. Just go from peg to peg. When you get to this one, you're going to cross over. Peg to peg. So you're always sort of working across, and then you're turning it counterclockwise. And then for your final one, you're going to be starting over. Now, depending on the project, usually I do about 3 times around. Just find that that makes a nice full flower without being so full that it's hard to deal with here. And we're just counterclockwise as you're turning it around. Push them down as you go along here. Okay, and this one. Okay, and so one of them will have a little bit more. Okay, and then just go on the other side and join it to your thing there. Now, just leave a tail. So you could leave it like this, or you could do another color on it. You see, like this one. If you want to do another color, you're going to do the same thing right on top of it with the other color yarn. Here's one. Alright, so for the intent of the video here, I'm going to do that. How do you do that? Same thing. I'm going to tie a knot. Stick it under one of the notches. Now I'm going to go all the way across over here because I can't start here because it's notched over here. So I'm going to go over here, and this is going to be my starter. Same thing. I'm going to go loop it, turn it slightly counterclockwise. Actually, I'm turning this one clockwise. I guess it doesn't matter as long as you get in a rhythm here. Sorry. I think here's what's going on. So my loops are going counterclockwise. My Daisy loom is being turned clockwise on this time around. I have to look at the video, see what I did last time. But anyway, so it doesn't matter. Whichever way your loom is going, your loops are going the opposite direction. And again, push it down as you go around. Keep them all pushed down. And since this is smaller, I'm just going to do 2 loops there. I'm going to pull it tight, come back here, leave a tail. Tail's just in case something happens dastardly, you can get a hold of it. Alright, so here's what we've got. Looks like that old string art from like the 70s. So you can see it better, I'm just going to use this, like on this one I did the purple. You could use whatever color you want. You could do this yellow, you could do it all yellow, but I'm just going to use the lavender again so you can see me sewing it on. Makes it easier against this cream color. You just need a big needle, metal needle is what I use. You could get those big plastic ones that usually come with kits. Fan of plastic, even though I'm sitting here using plastic looms. I find that I put a lot of pressure on my needle head, and my plastic needles tend to bend. So if you're like that, then you will need a metal needle. Okay, so just pick any petals to come up between here. And you've got no knot because this isn't like regular sewing, so you're either going to have to hold on to that or put it in the notch or whatever. I'm just, for this right now, I'm just going to hold on to it. And you just want to stitch around. I'm going to come up again because there's no knot, so I need to secure this stitch. I'm just going to pull it tight. So I've made a couple stitches there to secure this one. Okay. Now I'm going to go on the opposite side of this next loop. This next grouping's a loop. And you're just putting it down in there, pulling it tight, bringing it back up through there. Going over here again. Just do each one a couple times, whatever makes you feel like you've got it secure. Okay, and I've reached the end, and I'm going to go back over the original one where I started. And I'm sort of going to stick it down deeper into it so it's like feels a little bit more secure. Now I'm just going to leave it here because when I take it off the loom, I'm going to do some sewing there. Alright, so my tails sort of got caught back there, so I'm going to take those off first. And over here I have actual knots. I'm just going to trim those off. Alright, and then taking it off is really simple. You just pull flower petals, and it's going to start looking like a flower here. And remember, the more yarn loops you did, the fuller it will look. Alright. Okay, now I'm just going to take all these crazy loose ones. I'm just going to trim them down so they're shorter than the loops so they just don't show. And I'm just going to go back here and just make a couple of stitches because I just want to make sure that this is very secure. And there you go. Now this one isn't as full as I did these. These looks like I did maybe 6 because I was planning on Afghan, so I wanted it thicker. So you can spread them out if you're using a craft and you're making like a craft on like burlap background or something. You can spread these out and you'll get the all the way around flower look to it for craft purposes. If you're joining things together, you do a thicker one, and you know, to join the loops. I do have a video on how to join loops, how to join your flowers, different methods of joining flowers. Check out that video if you want to know how to do that. But that is just the simple way of making a daisy or a flower on a flower loom or a daisy wheel. There are some variations on the designs given by different brands. Your flower will look different the thicker you do it. Again, you could do different colors. I don't have a solid one. Oh, do I? Solid one, I guess. So you could do, it's a back. So you could do solid, you can do 2 colors. Watch my video on how to loom knit a wreath. We made poinsettias and we came through and did little black polka dots in the center, so that could be something too. If you were doing maybe like a sunflower, you could do brown dots in the middle. Just use your imagination and let that go wild. And that's it. It's pretty easy. Like I said, I learned how to do this when I was a little kid, and it was a good kid project. So if I could do it as a kid, I know you can do it as a grown-up. I hope this has been fun. This has been Angie, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.